I am going to be a full-time League of Legends. So at this point, you might be wondering, Mr. Boogie, how the fuck do you have enough time to do all that? You surely have to give up on something, right? This brings me to a point where if I want to keep doing all that, right, some things can't be done anymore. It is just that I find more enjoyment in doing these other things now. So the only question that is gonna be differing from the time spent, because the time spent is a constant, is how much are you enjoying with the time that you're spending on these kind of games? Because games at the end of the day is like they're not real. You know, games are not real, guys. They are just a form of like escapism. I feel like the gacha environment has shifted. It's no longer like you play this one game for like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and you can stay with it for like a very long time. Our Patreon page. Now, as much as I would like, okay, this is not OnlyFans by the way. As much as I wanna upload my fate reactions to Coffee, turns out Coffee's upload like for your thing, your media file, so like for your videos, it only includes like embedded links, so like YouTube and all that kind of stuff, or like a Google Drive link, I guess. I'm not sure if that works, or like like any sort of link, right? So you can't actually put like the entire thingy onto Coffee. So I had to go and take a look at the alternatives, which eventually brought us to Patreon. Patreon is not OnlyFans, okay? Like there's no sassy content here. There won't be any sassy content here. It's like a super bare bones, very simplistic exclamation Patreon if y'all wanna hop on. Which also brings me to this point over here. Oh my god, guys. I have finally stopped procrastinating. After 10,000 years. Literally 30 minutes ago, alright? Literally 30, right before I started stream. After 10,000 years. Episode 0 and episode 1 of UBW is up, alright? And I think after I end stream today, for the whole day of tomorrow, I will be uploading every single thing, alright? Every single thing that I have cooked up within the past couple of, I would say, weeks, as far as my editor can manage. So huge shout out to Iru, bro, single-handedly almost cooked up the entirety. Like all my editor just gave up after like the first 3 episodes, and Iru just one man carried everything, booms all the way through to episode 10. Alright, so I really downloaded episode 0 all the way through episode 10 of season 1, where I'm gonna slap all this into here. So tomorrow you should see S1 App 0 all the way to S1 App 10. Yippee! Which also brings me to my next point. After we finish uploading the entirety of Fate, right? So UBW to 0 to Heaven. So after everything is uploaded, right? After everything is uploaded, as in like it's in the Coffee page, we will begin our new anime journey. We will begin our new anime journey with Uma Musume. Alright, we are gonna start watching Uma Musume exclusively on kick.com and MrPokke. So after we upload everything onto this series over here, that means that the next anime watch along is going to begin. It is going to be Uma. Yep, go to Shippu. We are gonna watch Uma Musume. We are gonna watch Uma Musume. So we're gonna finish the entirety of Uma Musume. That will be our next major project, which means from this period of time between the finishing of Fate to the next upcoming anime that's coming out, that's Uma Musume. In between this period is basically this month of July, right? And as you know, the month of July is a extremely I already planned out my schedule, right? I literally had to like sit my ass down and plan out my schedule and like how I'm gonna go about like conducting, because it's gonna be a productive end of the year, right? It's gonna be, because this whole landscape with like gacha games and everything, a lot of it has changed, right? So once Finon is launched into Fate, into the Shanghai trip with the World Championship thingamabob, where I'm gonna make gacha smack absolute cinema. All right, so this is the first 3 weeks of July. All right, that's the first 3 weeks of July. So I basically don't really have too much of a cook over there. Once I come back from the Ethereal restart thingy from Shanghai, right, most likely it's gonna be like the last 10 days before July ends, right? There's one thing that I said I was gonna do, by the way. Once I return, as a man of my word, I will finish Expedition 33.
Dans là-haut sera ravi, les toits à sur noir griffera.
Okay, so that is pretty much it, right? So yeah, I actually rehearsed this in my mind. So that is the MrPokke content lineup from this month of July going onwards. Finish up uploading all of it. Finish up HSR. Finish up Fate Collab. Go to Shanghai. Come back from Shanghai. Catch up on whatever I need to. And then we're gonna finish up Expedition 33. And then after I finish Expedition 33, we are gonna start on Uma Musume. So at this point, you might be wondering, MrPokke, how the fuck do you have enough time to do all that? You surely have to give up on something, right? As you guys have seen from like the shifts in our content recently, as well as like, you know, the removement of like getting involved with like other people's business, right? Chilling and doing our own thing. I think yeah, life has never been better, and this brings me to a point where if I want to keep doing all that, right, some things can't be done anymore. I think I am going to be a full-time League of Legends. Okay, honestly, I still, okay, it's at like the tip of my tongue, right? It's like the tip of my tongue, but I can't bring myself to saying it because of like sunk cost fallacy. I feel like sunk cost fallacy is it's such a real thing, so I just can't bring myself into saying it. But I think what's most likely is going to happen. We might be dropping. We might be dropping Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact. We might be. So we'll see how that takes place a little bit more going forward. Nothing wrong with the game, by the way. Nothing wrong, right? It's not like a bad breakup. You know, like you break up with your girlfriend, like, you know, it's like a clean breakup or like a toxic breakup, whatever, right? This is like a very, very like nothing personal, right? Nothing personal. It is just that I find more enjoyment in doing these other things now. Like, for example, playing with Golden Shipu. As crazy as it sounds, I don't know. I feel like Uma Musume is more fun than Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact to me. Might be the honeymoon period for this current point of time. So that's definitely into a factor. But I feel like even if it's because of like honeymoon and all that, right? It's okay. Because a game's honeymoon will still be giving you that amount of satisfaction you would feel in the amount of time that you would have spent for the game itself. You know what I'm saying? It's that you only have like, let's just say in 2025, right? That's like what, 12 months, right? Let's just say you spend like, I don't know, 20-30% of your life like playing games, right? This is not from a perspective of a content creator, by the way. This is like a perspective of like, you know, like just a normal everyday guy that going to a job, going to work, going to study. You probably say maybe I 10-20% of the time playing games. So whether or not a game has a honeymoon, does not have a honeymoon, sunk cost fallacy, no sunk cost fallacy. And at the end of the day, the amount of time you're spending on like playing like these kind of like games, right, is like all the same, right? It's not like you're spending like only half the minutes you would have spent playing a game on honeymoon versus another game where you only spend like the normal 1 minute if it's like the game they've been playing for a very long time. So all the time is exact same. So the only question that is gonna be differing from the time spent, because the time spent is a constant, is how much are you enjoying with the time that you're spending on these kind of games? Because games at the end of the day is like they're not real. You know, games are not real, guys. They are just a form of like escapism or like recreational activities to help you like, you know, just enjoy these kind of stuffs a little bit more with the time that you have left, right? Your main priority should still be, unless you're a content creator, I feel like your main priority should still be to, at the end of the day, to have fun with the time that you're spending in video games. So I think at this point for me, like Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact, not legitimately like nothing too crazy to the game itself. It's just that the amount of time, not just myself, right? Even like the EAMs, right? Even the EAMs, I feel like their time could just be spent doing something better. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's pretty much just not sustainable for me to just log in like once a patch and then just do pulls and do story, just bounce off. Like I want, at this point, I want them to be free. You know, be free, little birdies. Be free. See the world, right? See what's out there aside from EAMs. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, I rather just have the amount of time spent. And this is now from the perspective of myself as a content creator, right? I rather just have the amount of time spent having the maximum value of enjoyment at any point of time. So right now, the maximum value, right? Like time is the exact constant. The maximum amount of, okay, let me pull up like a little graph to make it like easier to follow a little bit, right? So let's just say in the graph, this is your graph, right? This is your enjoyment and this is your time, right? So your time is always the same. It's a constant. But the enjoyment between the time spent, it is going to fluctuate. So as of this point right now, assuming that the time spent is going to be at the exact same, Uma Musume's enjoyment for me right now is somewhere around here, right? So this is probably like the graph for like, okay, that's not how graph works. So this is somewhere like around here, right? So this is like Uma. But if I were to dedicate more time into Uma as the game progresses, I'm pretty sure my enjoyment will slowly start to go down, alright? As with any games, any game, doesn't matter what it is, the most fun you have in the game is always at the start, right? So this is like your learning curve. You just start out, everything looks cool, and then you learn more, you get more into it, and get even more fun. But then after, like, let's just say 6 months, or whatever, you pretty much just got the best of it. And then as time progresses in the game, your enjoyment starts to slowly go down, right? This could be like fatigue, this could be like sunk cost fallacy, this could be like, you know, there are simply more new things outside life. So eventually, at a point in time where, if this is gonna be where I'm at for like Uma, right? So okay, not this. Okay, so this is probably where I'm at for Uma right now. Then I would say that Wuthering Waves and Genshin, it's like somewhere around here. It's like somewhere around here. So the logical thing for me to do as both like a content creator as well as like you know, somebody that actually wants to enjoy the time playing games, because at the end of the day I'm playing games for a living, right? It would be to cut out everything that falls below, like, let's just say this threshold. So this is the cut threshold. So anything that at this point of time is not bringing me the amount of like enjoyment as much as I would like to have, it's kind of just not worth the time. It quite literally is just not worth the time. Because why would I want to spend time on something that is going to give me this amount of enjoyment where I could spend the exact same amount of time on anywhere close to this graph? Because like we established, time is the same, right? So I really thought about this like very, very, very long for like the past couple of weeks already. And looking at how like my whole content and everything has like shifted, right? Like I don't even remember the last time I logged into HSR. Other than the first time we logged into the final. Luckily for us, HSR, the story 3.4, you know, the gameplay, everything, it still is super, super good to me. So that's great, right? But like I genuinely don't remember the last time I could, you know, log into like Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact. And aside from doing the story, and I haven't played Genshin Impact story, by the way. Aside from like doing the story and everything else just doesn't really feel like it's worth the time, because the amount of time spent, right? I could have just went into a lot of these new things that are coming out, because I mentioned in the previous clip channel video, I feel like the gacha environment has shifted. It's no longer like you play this one game for like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and you can stay with it for like a very long time. Right? Nowadays, it's like in one single year of 2025, you have like what? Almost 20 titles in a single year. Some are great, some are not so great, but at the end of the day, the amount of like options that you have is so much. And all you need to do is just to get involved with those few games, which technically would give you, always at the short span of time, the highest amount of enjoyment. Because usually all of the gacha games, they're basically the same shit, right? At the end of the day, it's all the same shit, right? You build your units, you pull, you get 100 pulls, 200 pulls at the start of the server, right? Everything is new, everything is fresh, the community is very vibrant, right? Every single gacha game is the exact same. They shower you with a shit ton of pulls, and as time goes on, it depends on like if you're still willing to stick with the game for the long term. And if you are, you're probably gonna be buying the monthly pass, battle pass, whatever pass, whale pass, and it will just lead to the eventual decline of whatever game is gonna be playing in throughout the long course of your time being spent in the exact same game, right? So because I feel like the way that the environment has shifted nowadays, where like legitimately randomly like bro, I have never even like hyped up this game or like heard of this game or sponsored to play this game. Legit just 3 days ago, this game just dropped. To be fair, it is like a super old game from JP and other countries. But like it just dropped, and like I think I'm having like a lot of fun. And I feel like this wouldn't be the first. Because this is just one of the many new titles within 2025. Right, like I mentioned in the previous clip channel, there's gonna be like NTE, right, Silver Palace, fucking Ananta, right? There's gonna be Azure Promilia, and all the kind of stuff. And there's still gonna be more years to come, right? There's gonna be 2026, there's gonna be 2027, 2028, and all the kind of stuff. And I don't wanna be bogged down to the point where, because let's just be so for real, I feel like by the time like the next 3 years comes out, I'm pretty sure there'll be well over like 100 gacha titles in the next 3 years, if not even more than that. So it is honestly impossible to stick with something that, for the amount of time that you're gonna be spending, you're not getting your money back, or rather your time back, in the forms of enjoyment and everything, right? So because of that, and also I think it's extremely fun to hang out and kick, right? To just chill, watch anime, hail kick and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I have a lot of things that I want to do. And unfortunately for me, that there simply is not enough time for me to make it accomplish all these things, right? So yeah, once again, there's nothing personal. And I haven't even said, I said I might, I might. Not saying that I'm gonna drop them immediately. I might do this. I might. Because to be very Wuthering Waves 2.4 Lupa story, it was very, very nice, right? It was very, very nice. But I feel like it's just like, if I'm just gonna log in and do a story, I wouldn't look into a gacha game to experience story. You know what I'm saying? Like if I wanted story, because gacha games is never just story, right? It's always everything around it, outside from within, right? You have your combat, your waifus, your pulls, your meta discussions, your quick swaps, your rotations, all that kind of stuff beyond just the story itself. Because if it truly was only about the story, my time that would be spent in let's just say Wuthering Waves, Genshin, or whatever, because at this point, I'm mainly just playing them for the story, right? I don't really care about the end game. I don't really care about like being meta. I skip Bren to this day. I don't give a damn. I didn't manage to pull Skirk, and it just doesn't really concern me anymore. And at that point, like, why not I just do something else then? So that is going to be my thought process. I think I'll probably cook up like a more decisive decision, probably in a couple of days, maybe after final and everything. But for now, this is my thought process for the past couple of weeks, right? I've been thinking about this for already a past couple of weeks. And let me know what you guys think on the clip channel comment section. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.